Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another exciting episode of Colney Talk Podcast, your bite-sized breakdown show. I'm your host Alex. First-time listeners, glad to have you here. And to my returning guests, thank you for sticking with me. As always, I talk a bit about the Arsenal match and pick out my top 3 Arsenal players who shined and one odd player not good enough I get to call out. Thank God we won this match. Huge credit to the boys sticking together and grinding it out. Well-deserved reward from it. What a match I just rewatched. I'm glad this game will go down in history recalling Arsenal's resilience despite the dark shadows that they played under. And no, I'm not being dramatic. Go ask anyone. The first half began feeling impressed based on the domination and scoring attempts we generated. I think this was an open game, back and forth, battling it out. Wolves dispossessed Arsenal a number of times to get forward and strike. In fact, we easily would have been chasing the lead from an open chance that day Wolves failed to put away. But we also could have been a couple of goals ahead from Havertz's go-ahead attempts that just went out wide. One of the standout features of our play was inviting the press from Wolves and using Havertz and Martinelli's runs to keep our rhythm flowing. Trossard, on the other hand, he was consistently hugging the width, serving crosses in the box for Havertz to exploit. So this, to me, was a working formula in the sense that we didn't crash the box. Instead, we trapped the duels and ball recoveries at the edge of Wolves' box, which made them work harder and manage the situations that they were facing because we gave them problems. We gave them fits. Havertz did great instigating the chaos which we intended to create. It would have very easily resulted in early goals, so that's the positive that I'm highlighting. I did not see hesitation to score in those attempts. Wolves, on the other hand, they did their best to deal with the hard press and blitz that Arsenal brought to them, and they bypassed a few times. But then we, adjusted because the main man, Declan Rice, Big Gabby, and Saliba ensured we didn't lose our composure defensively. It was fascinating to watch the tactical plans unfold as we played much free-flowing game because it didn't seem like a low block, issue that, mountain and we had to sort of climb over. But with Arteta's plan and the way he wanted us to adapt and switch plays in patient possessions and, quick line breaking runs, I think there was a lot of rhythm that was broken, but then we reset immediately to keep going. And it was quite fun. The frustrations of not connecting all that way, I can live with that because there was a different kind of outcome within the box. But just as we're finding our rhythm, controversy struck. And this is the dark moment I'm talking about. In a moment that would have been etched in the memories of Arsenal's fans for all the wrong reasons, for no reason at all, Myles Lewis-Skelly was shown a red card for what anybody would have described as a standard foul. Like, even walking away, you could see, okay, we're expecting the yellow card to be flashed or something. But that decision was nothing short of a deplorable taboo, in my opinion, that just derailed the entire game plan. And this particular ref, has continued to make a name for himself, and I hope he gets suspended for weeks. I really do. This is different, and it's time for this change to happen. He doesn't deserve to be on these games. Continues to show how incompetent and useless VAR truly is in this exact scenario. We're talking about next season a different kind of VAR that they're trying to incorporate into this league, yet the VAR that we have right now is not doing what is intended to do for this exact reason. They are so gutless and they're just cowards to do what is right to fix something. I like when someone owns a mistake and turns out and corrects it. It doesn't take 5 minutes to go back to review and rescind a red card or yellow card or something. It does not take that long. And I don't see why or what rules they have or what this VAR really is there for that doesn't allow them to do that. Other sports that exist. This system, someone tell me, because I'm waiting to see that. All we do is after games, post matches, talk about this and listen to some useless explanations that does not even help the game go forward. It really doesn't. And I'll get back to this part of this conversation later. Now, despite the setback, Arsenal showed remarkable mental fortitude. The team reorganized, seamlessly adjusting their positions to maintain our tactical shape despite being a man down. This resilience set the stage for what would have been an unforgettable second half performance. Truly. I mean, as we entered the second half, Arsenal came out with fire in their bellies. If you ask me, they came out angry. I mean, playing as if we had nothing to lose. And when you have a team playing like they have nothing to lose, be scared. Be scared because they're coming back. They will do something. Even if they lose the game, they have done something to change an outcome. We came in with nothing to lose, and it was truly remarkable to witness. The adjustments to our game plan was not to retreat, not at all. We were not settling for a point here. We shifted to a more compact 5-3-2 formation, but it was the fluidity within the structure that caught my eye. Our midfielders were constantly in sync, which was difficult because Wolves looked at it as the perfect place to oppress, attack, and dispossess us as much as we did. For sure, Partey was one of those, candidates to do that. But it looked most of those attacks were towards our wingers. Trossard and Martinelli exactly had to play with so much awareness and swiftness whenever they could because they could sense a lot of dispossession. In fact, they had double teamed quite enough to push back a little bit, but thankfully Rice and the rest of the back line was there to reduce that exposure and still maintaining the fluidity where Partey can come in and help control the tempo of the game, dictating the rhythm with 10 men. I mean, we slowed the game down, which really helped us when we needed to conserve energy, but then we exploded into life with bursts of intensity, pressing with quick transitions and movements when we got into the box. So there was a lot of life and belief that this team showed, and there's a lot of credit to go to them with that. The psychological aspect of our performance was immense. I mean, there was the sense of unity among the players, the fans, the crowd, a collective belief that defied numerical disadvantage. Yes, it's a red card. It could bring the morale down or whatever, or try to get them riled up to go forward and just play the game. But there was more to it because the entire ground felt cheated. A neutral would say the same thing. I mean, this mental strength manifested in our play with every player willing to go that extra mile for the teammates. Havertz especially, I mean, he ran his socks off. And Rice, man, that dude has just been a beast, especially playing on their last energy and playing sharp just to keep pushing. We did phenomenal. However, let's not lose sight of everything here. However, we must acknowledge that fortune favored us on a couple of occasions. Wolves did create some Gill's edge opportunities to take the lead, and on another day, we might have been punished. Their failure to capitalize on these chances was as much as due to our last-ditch defending as it was to their, deficiencies. One particular moment that stands out was a counterattack that saw their winger through on goal. I mean, that felt like a brain glitch to me. The composure shown by Raya to stay big and keep his arms out wide forced the attack into a rush shot that just was a prime example of those fine margins in the moments that count, and that was huge. Even the sending off from the yellow card for João Gomez from Wolves didn't seem to lift the game or tilt it any much more in our favor. We were playing hard, playing for the win, and nothing was stopping us, and we were really up for it. For me, that was huge. There's a lot of that. But let's not dwell on the what ifs. Instead, I'm here. I'm here to celebrate the moments of brilliance and the shine that this game really was about. That goal that secured this victory. Calafiori's goal was a thing of beauty. Our ability to produce quality even under immense pressure, that was huge. Again, no hesitation shots in the box, continues to do amazing things. And that's what I mean when I was more impressed in how they played, because we didn't have that luxury to have 1, 2, 3 touches in the box. It was all hesitation, all go. And it really paid out well for us. The way Arsenal played with their heads held high, never giving up, continually pushing for a win, filled me with really immense sense of pride. It's these kinds of performances in the face of craziness that define the team's character. This team is mentally tough. Don't get it twisted. And that has been the catalyst for them to do a lot of things and be rewarded for where they are right now. And there's nothing short of, being impressed and commending the whole entire staff and team and what they've done. And there's so much things. There are greater things for this team to come. Now, let me get into my top 3 standout performers in this match. First up, Declan Rice. Quite simply bossing it up these past number of games. He managed to cover every blade of grass, acting as both a shield for our defense and a springboard for our attacks in Odegaard's absence, by the way. He was good when he did the dirty work too, winning numerous challenges, disrupting Wolves' rhythm. Lastly, he managed to maintain that composure, even as the game became more frantic in the final stages, wearing the last energy and trying to get that last minute, clock wind down. He did provide a lot of calming influence that was huge in seeing how this results. So big ups to Declan Rice. Second player, David Raya, proved once again why he's such a crucial part of this Arsenal team. He was excellent in his shot-stopping moments, making spectacular saves to deny Wolves what looked like certain goals. He deserves this recognition for not only the clean sheet, but saving us from losing the 3 points. So it's not about, hey, Raya didn't do much in this game or he did very little. It's about the crucial things that preserve the win in points that counts. And he did that. So definitely a big mention for him. Third and final player, the player that pushed us over, Calafiori. He managed to balance his defensive duties while itching for the attacking contributions. And he did that brilliantly. He was staying up top, providing width to stretch Wolves' defense. Excellent as always with his one-on-one defending, rarely allowing his man space to run through. I don't remember or recalling any room for him to do that. Lastly, the way he managed to maintain his energy levels throughout the 90. Even when he came on in the second half, that was amazing. Never allowing anything lose sight of how we wanted to win this game. And he really was the savior of this match. So, a lot of shout out for him there. He made a lot of us so happy for our weekend. So there's a lot to, call him out there for. No odd player to call out. As a collective, the team played well together and overcame a lot. Now, I've held my tongue long enough. Now it's time to finish up this conversation I started. This referee in particular, or should I say the lack of integrity he has consistently displayed, needs to be resolved sooner. The red card shown to Lewis-Skelly was not just a poor decision, but it was such a disgusting behavior that continues to make this game and him the essence of the match. And I wonder why the governing body hasn't done something better. Because what we're going to listen to next or hear is maybe the red card rescinded, and then we're not going to hear anything about it, and that's the end of it, which is worse. Let's just call a spade a spade. This ref has established a reputation for himself, and it's not even an exaggeration. Go look at the facts. His decision-making in overtime has been downright biased at worst. The red card incident was just a culmination of a series of cheating calls for me that consistently went against Arsenal. But here's what's funny. It's not just Arsenal. So as much as it seems, I'm not looking for a crowd of misery here, but he has consistently shown why he should not be doing this. He should not be on the big stage at all. That's just me. What's even more infuriating is the inevitable response that we'll get from the refereeing body and the FAA. We've seen it time and again. Flimsy excuses, vague statements about following protocol, air quotes here, and a stubborn refusal to admit when a mistake has been made. They could admit a mistake, but it wouldn't seem sufficient enough because this lack of accountability is just so frustrating. It continues to erode the credibility of the Premier League as a whole. Yes, it's a product. Yes, they're going to find ways to sort of bypass this, but it's creating the cracks, and we're seeing so much of it. I mean, by defending such blatant poor decision, this is why these governing bodies are quite implicit participating in the cover-up. I mean, they're choosing to protect their own rather than upholding the fairness and integrity that should have been the heart of these football games. This approach is slowly but surely removing the belief of the superiority of this Premier League. Many have said this. I'm saying this right now, but it's not new. It's clearly showing itself. He should have been suspended. He should be suspended. And that's just the right course of action. Remove him from primetime matches and show that that's the way it should be handled. Nothing more. Well, as I said earlier, I'm glad history will afford us a great story that with a win behind the story, that's what will be remembered. We shouldn't let it overshadow what was truly a remarkable display from Arsenal. That other red card did not balance anything out. No, it wasn't. In any way, it just even made it worse. To come away from this match with 3 points, playing with 10 men for a significant portion of the game, is no joke. So big ups to the players and kudos that they were able to grind this out this way. For sure, we had chances to score more goals than we didn't capitalize on. Yes, there were moments where Wolves could have punished us, but the overriding emotion I'm left with, for one, is pride. I mean, pride in the way our team refused to let this bring them down or define them. Pride in the tactical flexibility and mental fortitude on display, and pride in the unwavering support from the team and Arsenal in general, and so many others who just did not hesitate to stand up and say something because it's long overdue. And for us, the way we continue believing in this team and pushing them, it's going to take us much further. So, I really appreciate this win even more. Now, as we head into this week, everyone will be looking for more reinforcements because we've heard it all before. We're short. We can't be no shorter than we are right now. And, I can't excuse any unsuccessful results of not getting recruitment or getting some bodies or players this week because it's a chance to add some help. I mean, we don't have the luxury to be picky. Look at our loan pickups. What have they done really? What have they really done? And how much have they contributed worth even thinking about? So we might as well get something worthwhile and use them for the rest of the season. That's what I'm here for. Okay, that will do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Until then, take care.